everyone, welcome to the top 10 list. Welcome to my top 10 saddest scenes. Yes, I've done a few, only a couple, top 10 lists about sad things. Like I did my top 10 saddest movies list about last year, and I did my top 10 saddest anime list. And that's just single movies and single animes that I find incredibly sad. This is the scenes in movies, TVs, or animes that make me sad. Yes, this isn't just a single film or a single anime or single show. These are just scenes from shows, movies, and animes that make me bawl at my head. Like, these just make me cry. And a lot of things make me upset and stuff. A lot of things, like, get a little teary-eyed and stuff, but these 10 scenes from these shows, animes, and movies make me actually, weep like a little fucking child. The tears just leak out of my eyes every time I watch any of these scenes, and yeah. I thought it'd be cool just to share my top 10 saddest scenes and stuff, and yeah, and again, this is not just the movies, this is not just the shows, this is just the scenes in these shows, animes, and movies. Yes, and I'm going all of them. I'm going movies, TV shows, animes. These are just the 10 scenes that just make me the most sad. So let's get to it. Coming in number 10 is the death of Spock from Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan. Yes, still to this day, this makes me fucking cry. Like, it really makes me cry. When I was a kid, when I watched Star Trek II, I was really upset, actually, because I always loved Star Trek, and I always had this connection with Spock and everything, and I loved him in the show. He was always my favorite character. Still to this day, he is my favorite character. Watching him die in Star Trek II was just gut-wrenching. Just freaking, it wrecked me. And it broke my heart. And the fact that he dies like a hero and stuff, it just makes it all the more sad. Than his last words to James Kirk is, "The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few or the one. Live long and prosper. I'll shall forever and always be your friend." Ugh. And of course, the Amazing Grace, Scotty playing on the bagpipes. Of all the souls that I've encountered, his was the most human. Just like, it is just seeing a main character from a TV show that you grew up with, just seeing him die on the screen and die as a hero, it was gut-wrenching. It still to this day, it makes me freaking sad. And I can see a lot of people would make people sad, because if you've only watched the Star Trek films and stuff, if you didn't grow up with these characters, I can completely understand that this would not make you upset and stuff, or not make you even the least bit teary-eyed. 100% get it, but I think if you grew up with Star Trek and you love Spock so much, and you grew up with Spock, this would just wreck you and stuff. And yes, he comes back in the third one, Search for Spock, but in Wrath of Khan, when I first watched Wrath of Khan, I didn't know he was coming back. I'm just like, oh my god, they killed my favorite character, and oh my god, I'm watching him die on screen. This is so crushing, and this is my hero. It's fucking Spock. Live long and prosper. And it makes it even more sad that Leonard Nimoy is dead in real life, so rest in peace, Leonard Nimoy. Rest in peace. And that scene still gets to me. Coming in at number 9 is My Song from Angel Beats. Yes, My Song is a beautiful scene. It's a whole episode, but I'm not counting the episode. I'm just counting the very ending of the episode, which the character sings My Song. If you've never seen this anime, Angel Beats, you're in for some tears. You're in for a lot of laughs, because this is a really funny show. It's a really funny anime, beautifully designed. It's got great action scenes, fantastic characters, but it is sad. It is so freaking sad. So many deaths happen in this anime, and it is heart-wrenching. Like, there's a lot of scenes I could have went with Angel Beats. I could have went with Otanashi's backstory, or I could have went with Yue disappearing and stuff. Like, those are all very sad scenes. But this one is the most sad. This just made me... I was bawling when I watched this anime for the first time, and I watched the ending of this episode. Watching Iwasawa, that's the name of the girl. She's the lead singer of this band. If you guys don't get it, Angel Beats, they're in purgatory. They're not in heaven or hell. It is a purgatory. And basically, you have to let go to be reincarnated back on Earth. So the reason you're here at this purgatory is because you haven't let go of something. And hers was singing her favorite song and basically becoming a real performer, because this character, Iwasawa, she grew up in a really domestic, very abusive, alcoholic home. And yeah, she was like just treated like garbage and stuff, but the power of music made her, be cheerful, made her chase her dream and stuff. And it was because of music that made her push forward and want to do something with her life. But of course, when she actually wants to pursue a career in music, she gets, I'll just spoil it, she gets head trauma from a bottle that her father hit her with. Yes, her father and mother were yelling, and the dad threw a beer bottle at her head, and the trauma put her in the hospital. Eventually she died, and she never got over it. And now that she's in purgatory, she's in this really cool band and stuff. And the very ending of this episode, she sings the song that she wrote, which is the song My Song, and it's about her life and stuff, and how she wanted to save people, like how music saved her, and it's just so beautiful. The song is lovely and amazing, and it's an amazing arc for the character, and yeah. And then, of course, at the end of the song, spoilers, she disappears and stuff, and she finally gets to move on with her life, and it's a beautiful scene, and it wrecks me every single time, and it's one of the saddest things I've ever watched in an anime. It just gets me. I know a lot of people have different sad scenes from different animes, and even different scenes from Angel Beats, but this one gets me every time. Coming at number 8 is Zuko and Iroh reunite with each other from Avatar The Last Airbender. Yes, Avatar The Last Airbender is my favorite cartoon show of all time. I love this show. This is my favorite cartoon. It's amazing. I love Rickle and Morty. I was about to say Pickle Rick because I'm wearing a Pickle Rick shirt. Rick and Morty. I love Rick and Morty. I love Gravity Falls. I love like Batman the Animated Series, Daria. Those are all some of my favorite cartoons. A lot of the shows of the Disney afternoon. Avatar will always be my favorite. That's why I fucking hate the Shyamalan movie. Fucking hate that movie. This show's amazing. It had a lot of like pretty hard-hitting moments, but there's also a few scenes in Avatar that are very sad, like, the Tales of Ba Sing Se, and Iroh sings the song for his dead son. Very sad scene, but this one, it got me. It really got me, because in season 2, the end of season 2, Zuko betrayed Iroh. Like, he flat out betrayed him. He joined his sister with the Fire Nation, and basically tried to hunt and kill the Avatar, and he went against everything his uncle ever taught him and stuff, and he basically ignores Zuko through all season 3. But Zuko finally turns a new leaf, and he joins the Avatar, and he finally gets to meet up with Iroh in the last 2 episodes. And then when he meets Iroh, he says this very beautiful speech to him that he is sorry, and that he didn't mean to do it, and that he finally found his way back to the light and stuff. And then Zuko just hugs him so dearly, because Zuko thinks Uncle Iroh, is angry at him, and he doesn't want to speak to him ever again, and that he lost him as an uncle. But Iroh just hugs him, and he says, "I'm not angry at you, I just was afraid that you lost your way." And it just, oh my god, when I watched this scene, I was bawling my eyes out. I'm like, this is so beautiful. It's fucking beautiful. I love these characters. This show's so fucking great. But yeah, that scene always wrecks me. It's one of the saddest scenes I've ever. It's just, tears. Coming in number 7 is the ending to the movie Fearless. Fearless is directed by Peter Weir. This is not my favorite Peter Weir movie. I still prefer Dead Poet Society and Truman Show, but this is still a really great film, very abstract film, very surreal movie, because it's about a guy who survives a plane crash, and he basically can't get over the fact that he lived through it. So basically, he spends all of his days putting himself into fear and stuff, because he has become fearless, because he accepted death when he was on this airplane that was about to crash, but he survived, and he doesn't know what to do with his life now, because he was ready for death and everything. And in this movie, this character played by Jeff Bridges is a very despicable character, and throughout the whole movie, you think he's trying to kill himself and stuff, but he doesn't succeed. And at the ending of the movie, again, this requires spoilers, so if you don't want to know, just skip to the next movie I'm about to talk about, but at the ending, he eats some strawberries, and he's allergic to strawberries, and basically, he's about to die. He is just, like, suffocating and everything, and it flashes back to the actual scene of the airplane crash. Throughout the whole movie, they flash back to the airplane scene when they're on the airplane, but they never show the actual crash. At the ending of the movie, when he's dying from the strawberries, they show the whole sequence when the airplane crashes and shows him, guiding these people, helping these people, making people feel calm, and basically him accepting death and stuff. And it's a very beautiful scene. It's beautifully shot, wonderfully atmospheric, amazingly directed, wonderfully acted by Jeff Bridges, and it's just amazing. I've never seen a lot of films that can really portray life and death so beautifully. Just the way this movie does it is amazing. It's absolutely incredible. The whole film is a great film, but the ending is a masterpiece. The film itself is still really great. I have some issues with it, but as a whole, it is a great film, but the ending is masterful. It is fucking perfect. And the way they show life and death and stuff, and showing him survive this plane crash with all these people, and of course he snaps out of his reaction, and he can finally breathe again, and then he just screams, "I'm alive! I'm alive!" And he's crying and feeling happy, and it really got me. It really did. Showing this realistic portrayal of life and death, and seeing him breathe that breath and say, "I'm alive," showing true happiness and true joy that he's happy to be alive. It really got me. I was bawling by the end of this film, and it just really gets to you. The film itself is still a great film. If you've never seen this film yet, please check it out. But the ending, it's masterful filmmaking, and yeah, it's amazing. Coming in number 6 is the death of Winifred Burkle from Angel. Yes, Angel, Joss Whedon show. A lot of Joss Whedon shows, they have a lot of deaths, but none of them really got me. Not a lot of them got me. Like, a lot of this death scenes in Buffy, either they came back or just wasn't as emotionally impactful, but this one really got me. Like, and there's no deaths in Firefly till Serenity, and yeah. Angel, the death in the show Angel, Winifred Burkle. Winifred Burkle is like one of my favorite characters in the show, played by Amy Acker, and the episode where she dies is my favorite episode of the whole series. It's called A Hole in the World. A Hole in the World, I don't want to explain the whole episode. The whole episode is beautifully written. But basically the character Winifred Burkle gets sick from this disease and stuff, and I don't want to spoil what it is. But basically when she dies, she gets turned into the goddess Illyria and stuff. That's why she is dying, because Illyria is killing her and stuff. And yeah, seeing this character just slowly die, and all she has is Wesley there to comfort her, is so upsetting, and a character that I love so freaking much. And what makes it so upsetting is not only the amazing performances by Alexis Denisof and Amy Acker, who they both should have been nominated for Emmys, for God's sakes, they were both amazing. But the tragedies Winifred went through the whole series is just sad, and the fact that she has to die like this, it makes it even more sad, because most of her life she was trapped on this alien planet where she was used as slave labor. She was a slave on this alien planet, because this planet full of aliens, humans are used as slaves and stuff, and half of her life she spent on that planet. And then when she finally gets to come to Earth, she only spends a few good years on Earth, then she dies like that. It's so unfair for this character. That's what makes me just heartbreak for this scene, and it just makes me bawl, because it's not fair. It's just not. This character is just such a sweet and likable and intellectual character, and most of her life was ruined because she was on this planet, and when she finally gets back, she dies. She just dies, and it's not fair, and I was a wreck after the episode ended. A Hole in the World. It's just an amazingly written episode. Amy Acker gives an amazing performance, and oh my god, it's just so sad. Coming in at number 5 is Carl and Ellie's life from the movie Up. Yes, Up. It's not the beginning of Up, because Up starts when Carl's a little kid and stuff, and he meets Ellie and stuff, and yeah, that's not the sequence that's sad. It's showing the montage, the 5-minute montage of their entire lives together, and it's heart-wrenching. It is beautiful. There's no dialogue. It's all music and atmosphere and visual. It's visual storytelling. It's amazing. The way it's directed, perfection. The score is amazing, and just knowing these characters and their lives together, it's beautiful. It just makes you appreciate your own life when you watch the sequence of Ellie and Carl. And it makes you believe in just true love and stuff, and watching this beautiful couple live their whole lives together. It's It's amazing. It gets to me every time I watch Up. Up is my favorite Pixar film of all time. A lot of it is because of this sequence, but I think the whole movie's great. I think the whole movie is fun, entertaining, it's hilarious. I love the characters so freaking much. This sequence just adds to the brilliance that is Up. And this sequence, yeah, it's showing them as kids and adults. They try to have a child together, but they can't have children. They keep wanting to go on a vacation, but they can't because accidents keep happening. And then when they get older, Carl has the money to send them on a really cool vacation, but then she gets sick and she dies, and it just, oh my god, you feel so bad for Mr. Fredricksen, and it's a beautiful scene. It's like it's the saddest scene in any Pixar film. Yes, Coco's sad, Inside Out sad, Toy Story 2 is sad, Toy Story 3 is sad, a lot of sad moments, but this one, the saddest. Coming in at number 4 is Marnie's backstory from when Marnie was there. Yes, I've talked about this. This is one of my favorite scenes in film. This is amazing, just amazing. But I'm not going by what the best scene is. I'm just going by how sad a scene is. If I was going by best scenes out of all these, this would probably be my number 1 because I love this scene so freaking much. But this is just sad. It got me though. Like tears were raining down my face. Showing the backstory of Marnie is amazing. The way they did it, how it was executed, the animation, the score, the music, the voice acting performances, it's amazing. And finding out who Marnie is, spoilers, it's Anna's grandmother and stuff. It's a tragic story. Like, showing Marnie how she was abused by the maids, and just showing that she finally met the man of her dreams, but then he died, and she had a child, but she wasn't fit to raise the child because she had a breakdown because her husband died, so she put her child in a boarding school, but then when she was healthy enough to finally be with her daughter, the daughter had this, like, anger towards her, and she rebelled against her, and then she went off with some dude and had a child, and she died in a car crash, and then she had to take care of the grandchild. It's just, oh my god, just so much bad and tragic things happen to this character Marnie and Anna because they're connected with each other, and it's soul crushing. It gets to me. Throughout the whole sequence, I'm like, I got the tissues. I'm like a freaking girl watching a chick flick. I'm like, this is just so sad. Why couldn't Marty have a good life and a good ending? It's just, there's nothing happy about it. Well, there is. The silver lining is Anna. Anna got a good family. She could actually have a better life. A life better than what Marnie had. And it's a beautiful sequence. The backstory is just so beautifully told, and just, it gets me every time. Coming in number 3 is the ending to Mrs. Doubtfire. Okay, this is going to be a weird one because my number 3 and my number 2 are going to be talking about fathers. This is not sad, like, oh my god, it's so sad. This is happy sad. This is the only scene on my top 10 list that is happy sad. I find this sad because it's happy. This is kind of like when you're so happy you're bawling your eyes out and stuff, and this is a different kind of sad. This is happy sad. This gets to be every time, and this, I don't know, this wouldn't get to a lot of people. It really wouldn't. Some people would probably find it a little too sappy or a little too melodramatic, and just, you know, there's nothing to it for some people. But for me, it gets me every time, and mostly recently. It didn't usually get me because I watched Mrs. Doubtfire all throughout my childhood. It never got me. It gets me now, mostly for personal reasons. Most people should know on this channel, this is very personal, I'm digging deep here, guys. I'm letting it all out for the whole world to know this. I've said this on my channel before, but I'll say it again just in case no one has not heard this story yet, but I lost my father a few years ago. My father died. I don't want to get into that and get into how and stuff. It's a little too hard for me to talk about, but he passed away a few years ago. Actually, a little bit before I started YouTube, and this scene gets me every time because it makes me think of my father, and it's upsetting. It's really sad and stuff. It's happy sad too, because in this movie, Robin Williams, who's passed away as well, so it makes it even more sad too. He just wants to be with his kids, and yes, he thinks of a very unorthodox way to be with his kids. Dresses up as Mrs. Doubtfire, an old 60-year-old woman, and yes, that is not okay and stuff. That's mentally not okay and stuff. But he even says in the courtroom that he's addicted. Yes, I'm addicted to my children though. Like, I love them so much. I can't go a day without seeing them. because he loves his kids so freaking much. And I find that very beautiful. And then when he says the speech in court, Sally Field's character, his ex-wife, Miranda, she realizes that, yes, he deserves to be with his kids because he loves them that much, and the kids love him. He needs them, and the kids need him as well. So basically, she shares custody with the children, with him, and her and Robin Williams both get custody of the kids. He gets to take them every day after school, and at the ending, the kids don't know that, and Sally Field's like, okay, you're gonna like this new nanny that I got. And then she opens the door, and they see that it's their dad. It's Robin Williams right there, and the smile on their faces is just beautiful, and just, it's a beautiful scene. It gets me every time because it would mean the world to me if one day I opened the door, my father was there, and it's beautiful actually because what their experience is pure joy and stuff. They're happy that their father's back in their lives, and it gets me every time. It gets me, and because it makes me feel like I'm close with my father. I was close with my father, and every time I watch this sequence at the ending, it just makes me miss him all the more every day. And these kids get to be with their dad, and it's a very beautiful thing. And it really gets me because I know some people don't have great fathers and stuff, but when you do have a great father, you want to be with your dad every single day, and these kids couldn't see their dad every day, and they finally get to at the ending, and it's a beautiful, touching, heartfelt family moment, and it gets me every time. Mostly now because of the passing of my father, but yeah, it gets me. It gets me. I'm almost getting a little teary-eyed right now, so I'm gonna get to the next one because the next one is also about fathers, so yeah, but this one, every time. Coming at number 2 is Will's father from The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Yes, I think everyone should know this sequence. If you've ever watched The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, you know exactly what sequence I'm talking about. This fucked me up as a kid. Like, when I watched this as a kid, I was bawling my head out, and even still to this day when I watch this scene, it gets me. It just wrecks me every single time. In the show, Will Smith plays Will Smith. In the show, he gets visited by his dad, and he was never raised by his dad. He's never seen his dad in such a long time and stuff, and his dad finally comes back in his life, and he finally thinks, oh my god, I get to have a dad again and stuff, and he doesn't listen to his Uncle Phil, and his Uncle Phil says, Will, be careful, like, this guy abandoned you, now he wants to be in your life, and Will's like, he said, don't tell me what to do, you're not my father and stuff, he's my father, you're not you and stuff, and it breaks Uncle Phil's heart, which is sad, because Uncle Phil has been taking care of Will, he cares for Will, and he loves Will, he doesn't want to see Will get hurt, and of course that's what happens at the ending of the episode. It's Will spending time with his dad, and his dad actually seems like a very nice and likable guy. You just don't understand, how did this guy abandon Will? This guy seems like a very cool, very nice guy and stuff. And seeing their relationship was really great. They had good chemistry with each other. And then, of course, at the ending of the episode, they're supposed to go on this trip together, and he flat out bails on him, and he basically wants to bail out of Will's life once again, and it is heartbreaking. And yeah, he just flat out leaves Will's life, and Will talks with Uncle Phil, and this is just, it gets to me. Will thinks at first, he's like, oh, I'm not bothered by it, it's all good and stuff. But then he just starts flipping out Will. Will flips out, he says, I'll be a better father than he'll ever be, and stuff, and then he just screams, and then he just starts crying, just bawls his eyes out, and all he says to Uncle Phil is, how come he doesn't want me? And just, it gets me, and then Uncle Phil just hugs Will, and Will just cries in Uncle Phil's arms, and oh my god. Every single time, I'm like bawling my eyes out every time I hear that. I'm heartbroken for Will. And hands down, I think that's like Will Smith's best performance. It's fucking amazing. And yeah, it's Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I think you've seen the show, you know that scene. It gets me every time. And the number 1 saddest scene, in my opinion, is the entire ending of Lord of the Rings: Return of the King. Yes, I get it. Some people will be like, seriously? That ending is so fucking long, it's not sad, it's just drawn the fuck out. But no, it's sad. It wrecks me every time too. Like, if you want to know what makes me cry the most, it's the whole ending of Lord of the Rings: Return of the King. When I was in theaters, when I saw this movie, I think I was about 12 years old. I was crying my ass off. My cousin was looking at me. He's like, "Are you crying?" Like, shut up, you're crying. I'm not crying. I had to be a man about it. I'm never a man about it. But anyways, Return of the King. I'm gonna say it's not my favorite Lord of the Rings film. Fellowship of the Ring is still my favorite, but Return of the King is amazing. And the conclusion to this fantastic, brilliant trilogy, it gets me. And it's not just like one scene. That's why it's really sad, and that's why it's my number one. Because it's not just one sequence. It's the entire ending, and the ending is super long. You all know what the ending of Lord of the Rings: Return of the King. It's long, and the whole thing is fucking sad. Like the first sequence that really makes me cry is when Aragorn gets like crowned the king of Gondor and stuff, and then they all go to the four hobbits and stuff. Then Frodo, Sam, Merry, Pippin, they bow to Aragorn, and Aragorn's like, no, you bow to no man. And everyone bows to the four hobbits, and oh my god, and then the score just, oh god, I was bawling. I'm like, oh my god, it's so beautiful, because these four little creatures, these four hobbits, they did the impossible. Hobbits are not known to be soldiers or adventurous and stuff, and two of them destroyed the ring that would destroy the whole world. It's because of these four hobbits that everyone can live good lives and stuff, and it's these four little tiny creatures. And the fact that Aragorn is just like, no, you bow to no man, and they all bow down. It's just a beautiful moment. And that's not just it. Frodo fucking leaves. Yes, at the ending, Frodo leaves Middle-earth with Gandalf and everyone else and stuff, and it's fucking sad. Like, seeing Frodo say goodbye to Merry and Pippin and Sam, every time I'm crying my ass off. And then he gives Sam the book, and he's just like, there's a room for a little bit more. It's my story and Bilbo's story, and then your story to finish it off, and oh my god. I'm getting a little teary-eyed already. And then, of course, the ending credits, because the trilogy's over and I don't get to watch a Lord of the Rings movie anymore. That's just as sad. I was bawling. The whole ending is fucking sad. I know some people might not think so. Some people aren't Lord of the Rings fans, so some people will definitely not think so. But to me, the ending of Return of the King is the saddest scene ever in movies, in my opinion. So yeah, that's my top 10 saddest scenes in movies, TV shows, and anime. This is just my opinion. Some of these might not make you sad. Some of these you probably haven't seen, so it probably won't make you sad. But anyways, this is my opinion. So in the comment section below, please tell me, did you agree with this top 10 list? If not, what are the top 10 saddest scenes in your opinion? Scenes that are in shows, movies, television shows, movies, animes, operas, I don't know, music videos, short films, give me anything. Any scenes that make you sad. Give me your thoughts and opinions. Comment below, let me know. And as always, for this video, please like, subscribe to this channel, and join the dark side.